Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you're watching. Manchester City are 20 minutes away from playing Aston Villa in the Premier League away at Villa Park. This is going to be fun. This is going to be an awful lot of fun. It could be overly difficult. It could be horrific, but we will see, aren't you? How are you going? How you guys going? Are you good? Are you well? I want to just talk about the teenies before I go live for my watch along. I'll jump over to here and bring the team news up and we'll talk about it. I do want to know what you guys think of that team news. Let me bring it up on screen. There we go. There's Manchester City's team for you today. We've got Stefan Ortega Moreno in goal. We've got Rico Lewis at right back. John Stones and AKANJI return to the team. Josko Vardio left back. And then we've got Kovacic, Gundogan and Bernardo in the middle, I presume. Then Foden, Jack Grealish and Erling Haaland as our forwards, which is interesting. It's an interesting team. It's a sort of mature team, if that makes sense. It looks a little bit stronger defensively. Of course, it has a couple of players that have been dropped. Kyle Walker's no longer in the side. Diaz is out injured. Ake's on the bench. It's interesting. I'd be curious to see what you guys think. It's one of those things. The lineup is what it is. Like, I think there were sort of signs of certain players coming back into the team, but then you look at the bench as well. There's no Edison. Edison's not available today. Mateus Nunes has dropped out the squad as well with an injury suspected, and you've got, of course, no Diaz. So it feels like just as we get some players back with Kovacic and whatever, and obviously Stones and Akanji, we lose 3 players in return. If you imagine them available, by the way, you imagine Edison. Imagine Edison and Nunes, and then, of course, Diaz in that squad. It looks pretty strong. The bench starts to look pretty strong as well. It's just we keep losing people, don't we? I'll bring up... by the way, I'm getting sort of piled on Twitter because I said this when I said, as much as he's past it, I get why many will like him. I don't enjoy the pylon on Kyle Walker being dropped. I saw a few big accounts sort of be like celebrating him being dropped. And the only thing I would say about that is I agree he should be dropped. I agree it's good news for the team. But I think big accounts have a responsibility to sort of not encourage negativity online to an extent where it becomes toxic. So I got a bit annoyed by people that I think should know better doing that, because I think it becomes... It touches, when we all mock Arsenal fans for being entitled, or United fans or whatever, for the way they handle stuff. What's the difference if we're starting doing that? Leave it to the kids who want to just throw insults at Kyle Walker and stuff like that. And I don't think he should be in the team. I'm happy he's not playing, but I wouldn't celebrate it, because I think you're sort of encouraging a pylon, and you're encouraging toxicity, and you're encouraging negative behaviour. And I don't know, I wasn't comfortable with it. So I've just been getting lots of criticism, I think, for disagreeing. And I don't expect many people to understand the subtleties of my point, but the point is just be better, basically, and understand responsibilities. So I'm not saying people can't enjoy Kyle Walker's not playing, but I think it was more aimed at big accounts, So it's one of those things where... I'm happy he's not playing, but in general, I think we should have a little bit more elegance about it. Anyway, this is how I reckon it'll line up. It'll be obviously Ortega in goal. We'll have Josko over here. Then we'll have probably AKANJI on this side, Stones on that side, and Rico Lewis on this side. Then we'll have, of course, it will be Jack Grealish on the left. I think we're going very obviously. It's going to be Kovacic, Gundogan. I think Bernardo will be on the right, and Foden in the middle with Haaland there. I think it's going to be something like this. I think Grealish is back to the wing stints, and I think it's going to be something like this. De Bruyne is probably on the bench, mate, just because he probably needs a bit of a rest. He's played a lot of football since he came back into the side. He started quite a few games in a row, and I think they're just worried about, the run here that he could go through. So I reckon it's one of those things where that's what the team's going to be, something like this, which is it's not a terrible team. There's not much creativity in that because Foden hasn't found his creative boots. There's not much pace in that midfield once again. Kovacic is obviously stronger than our recent solutions in midfield there, so I'm happy he's back in the team compared to like Rico in midfield or whatever. But The defense looks a bit stronger with these guys here, obviously. We know Rico will go forward. I suspect Gundo will go forward and Rico will come into here. And maybe AKANJI will cover that side, Stone Centre, and Josko will sit back a little bit. Maybe Rico would just stay back a bit deeper. I don't know. It'll be something like that anyway. Yeah, like Grealish had that, obviously, the midfield stint. He had 2 games. One was really good. One was really quiet in midfield, you know. But I don't... feel that was necessarily enough to judge him on, but I mean, I understand why he's out wide today. I think Guardiola wants control away at Aston Villa. So Grealish at Aston Villa, is that a good way to get control? I don't know. What I do know is that Rico Lewis had a bit of a rest now. He's had a game or 2 on the bench. Well, he's had a week off anyway, so he's a bit of a rest there. So fingers crossed he finds a little bit of his confidence at right back. He's not a left back. This guy, Haaland, needs to have a big game today. Foden just needs to find a little bit of form. No player has more shots on goal in the Premier League this season without scoring a goal. So that, to me, is disappointing, you know. Maybe we'll see, you know, Josko get forward a little bit. But with Rico and Rant on one side, I don't know how we're going to manage to have them both, you know. Rico September form, that would be nice, wouldn't it, Southern Wake? I think it's a confidence thing at this point. I really do. Go ignore that one. Let's go to the Villa lineup over here. Villa line up like this. So they got, obviously, Emi Martinez in goal, Matty Cash, Konsa, Torres, and Lucas Digne. Then they got Tielemans, Kamara, Onana. I mean, that's a physical midfield, by the way. Tielemans obviously not the fastest, but a big lad. Kamara and Onana, both much more physical than ours. And that's a physical forward line as well. McGinn will run and run and run. Duran, wonder goals in that guy's form. And then, obviously, Morgan Rogers, who will cause us an awful lot of trouble. It's a very physical Aston Villa side in general, you know. So I am not looking forward to playing that. SofaScore agrees with the lineup there. I mean, the formation. It's very obviously that formation. It's the first time in a long time I've seen a lineup where it's very obvious who's playing everywhere. Like, it's clearly going to be Bernardo on the right and Foden in the middle. It's not going to be easy. I'll be honest with you. I haven't done my preview. I didn't get a chance to do it because I've had an intense week. But I'm not confident. I know Villa aren't flying this year. They're currently 7th. Well, they are doing well, actually. They're just not flying as much as last year. But they're still doing very well, you know. They're only 2 points off us. They could jump ahead of us today. Well, we need a win today. I don't know if Forest are playing. Who are Forest playing? Forest have got Brentford away, you know. Brentford are currently 11th. That's not an easy game for Forest, but it's wild to think we're chasing Forest down. We're in a season now where we just need to finish top 4, which is crazy. And I don't know. It's one of those things where we have to be honest about what we can achieve this season. And this is it's going to be very hard to break down. It's going to be really hard to break down. But this is maybe is a chance to sort of a strong defensive performance if possible. You know, if we can come away with a draw from this game, it isn't the worst result given our run of form. We're in a shocking run of form. I'm not expecting a win. It's possible. We've had a week off. The players have had a couple of days of rest, which is always nice. It gives them a tiny bit of headspace. I think Pep said on Monday, Tuesday, go and take a couple of days off with your family, to detach and separate from football, which is good advice. I know some people are like, this should be training all the time. Life doesn't work that way. Sometimes you actually need to step away, clear your head, remember that life exists, come back to training. It's one of those things where it's one of those things where, like, by the way, I'm going back to the Walker point earlier. People are saying he's a horrendous bloke and all that. Fucking, I get the point. Yeah, I get it. He is. But the point is, my point is like how we handle things online. Is if we just go in at Kyle Walker now, big accounts go in at Kyle Walker and like stick the knife in, and they could argue they'd have a reason, and it'd probably be true. But the point is, once you normalise that behaviour, the next player who's playing well, who isn't a horrendous person, will then get that same treatment because it's been normalised. And that is where the point is. That's the point I'm making. As soon as you set the tone, as soon as you decide that people can be stabbed online, you know, you can get them because it's justified. But then someone goes to the next person who's not playing well. Someone will do it to Rico Lewis. Someone will do it to, you know, Josko Vardiol. And like that's what I'm saying. Like there has to be an element of understanding how you deal with things online. So yeah, I'm happy Kyle Walker's not playing. I genuinely am. I won't. I've got 100,000 followers on Twitter. I'm not going to sit here and go like fuck him. I'm happy about it because I understand I've got a responsibility to not set a really aggressive tone online, and I think that there has to be a maturity to how these things are handled. That's how I feel anyway. I'm not saying to any of you guys enjoy it, blah blah blah, whatever. But that's why I'm a bit frustrated by it because I don't even like Kyle Walker. I really don't. But I'm not gonna. It's the whole. If you haven't got nothing nice to say, don't say it. You know, sometimes that's true. That Villa team, the Villa team is hard to break down. It will be. The whole thing suits Villa way more. Villa are they are a better side than Manchester City now. City are one of the worst sides in the league right now, and we have the players. And there are signs when you start to look at the bench and stuff like that of City. You know, some players returning. When you look at the bench there, you've obviously got Walker, Ake, De Bruyne, Savinho, Doku. You've got some quality there. You've obviously got McAtee, O'Reilly, Simpson Pusey, and the young lads. It's wild, by the way, that McAtee hasn't played enough to even get a rating on SofaScore in the Premier League. He absolutely should have. I'm sorry, but James McAtee is he's a Premier League player for last season. He should have played more minutes. Guardiola said last night in the press conference that he probably thinks maybe it's harsh on some of the younger players playing, but his reasoning is that he wants the senior players to dig us out the hole that they got him in. He likes to lean on the senior players, so it's their responsibility. I understand that to an extent, but I think the senior players also need help. They need refreshing, and they need 20 minutes, 30 minutes to rest their legs every now and then. It's one of those things where, I don't know. I think Pep's got it wrong on that. I just do. Doesn't mean I'm right, but I think he's got it wrong. That doesn't. Once again, I'm not saying I'm right, but that's just my opinion. And we'll time will tell on there. Time will tell. Look, this team, it's okay. It's pretty good. There's a lot of experience there. When I look at the back line, if everyone turns up today, AKANJI, Stones have got a lot of experience. Are solid. I'm hoping Rico with Stones and AKANJI alongside him finds a little bit of form today. Josko has been up and down recently. Like obviously a big goal, but the mistakes constantly. Gundo does not had a good return at all. Kovacic has been our best midfielder, I would argue, this season. No De Bruyne, but Phil's had a poor season, poor to bad season. But then when you compare the contrast to last season, he's had a shocking season. When you look at the level where he's come. And then you've got Grealish. Look, Grealish needs to step up. Bernardo has been running, but no joy. And Haaland's form's been off for a while. He will score if you give him chances, but we're going to have to see how it goes. I'm really hopeful that this side have got something in them. I don't know if they will do, but we will see. By the way, my watch along will be over on Big Up. That starts live in a few minutes' time. You don't have to sign up or anything like that. You can just join and watch. I know why you wonder why it's not on YouTube, but I've been working with these guys for a long time. We're sort of in an agreement with them, and that's why. So, in the pinned comment there. What's your predictions, guys, in the chat? Do let me know. Do let me know your predictions. I mean, I would have loved McAtee and O'Reilly to get a start, but Guardiola's just not going to do it. He isn't. I'm going to go for... Look, my head says they're going to win this today, Villa. I think they are. But, I think it's possible. I'm always optimistic. I think it's because I feel like at some point it should change. City can't be this bad forever. But I still think Villa are going to win it. I think it might be 2-1 Villa. But I'm hopeful for a good performance, and a win would be amazing. But I'd take a 2-all. I would take a 2-all. I'd take a 1-all, 2-all. I would. A draw right now. It doesn't seem like a big ask. It seems like a win. Because we've been so poor. Like anything to arrest the slide and find a bit of confidence. Because we had it against Forest and then we lost it again. This is where we're at, and I think we have to be realistic. Like, you can't just bounce back to your best form. You can't, unfortunately. You have to accept the circumstances. It's going to take a long time to fix this mess of confidence. Unless you reckon will win. I hope so, mate. Villa just are a much more physical side, Like, Matty Cash has got lots of energy. Lucas Digne is a really gifted fullback. Konsa and Pau Torres have got it all. Physical, excellent on the ball, experienced. Tielemans, Kamara, and Nana is technical ability and a lot of power. They'll run this midfield. And likewise, the forward line, Duran, McGinn, Rodgers, a lot of power. A lot of magic there as well. A lot of consistency. Yeah, they're a really good side, you know. Ollie Watkins on the bench. Has his form dipped a little bit or something like that? But Duran's in form, isn't he? Then look at their bench, man. They've got Leon Bailey. They've got Mason, Tyrone Mings, Ross Barkley, Buendia. Although they're not saying they're all world-class players. They're not. But it's a good squad they've got these days. They've got, obviously, Jacob Ramsey missing. We've got no Nunes. We've got no Diaz. We've got no Edison. No Oscar Bob, no Rodri as well. I'm hoping, we can keep it tight and then Kevin De Bruyne can come on, towards the end. Fingers crossed we can get a win. That would be lovely. I don't think that's going to happen, but we will see. Guys, anyway, I'm going to go live over there. Click the link in the description. Fingers crossed City can win today. In a bit, and I'll see you live on Big Up. Come on, you Blues. Bye-bye.